Hey, Cindy here from the Crime Diner. We're on a winter break, but we are still sharing some special episodes with you from our Patreon and from shows that we've guested in the past. So enjoy this until we return in February. Bye.
Hi, my name is... Yo, hi, what? Hi, my name's Dustin, and I'm the host of the Rewatch Recap, a show where a guest and I will rewatch a show that we loved from back in the day, and just see how it holds up, and maybe make fun of it along the way. With episodes like MTV's Scream, Season 1, with Oraline from Spooky and Strange.
But no one in this town does their jobs. He or she or they. We don't know who it is.
And the entire series of My So-Called Life. With Kay from Fuck My Work Life.
She doesn't want to blend in. She wants to be noticed. Wait, what are we talking about here?
And more to come in 2023. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Rewatch Recap, and me personally on TikTok at Dustin_Holden, where you'll find all of the Rewatch Recap parodies of My So-Called Life, and more to come. Hope you'll watch along with us. Make sure you tune in to the Rewatch Recap every Monday, wherever podcasts are played.
Here's a special episode that we guested on with Dustin from Dustin Can Read. Please enjoy.
Okay, good.
Whoa. Ding.
That's me. I don't know what that was about.
Is that a Peanuts cup, or glass?
It is, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought I saw Snoopy. All right.
Yeah.
She has the original stuff.
Chocolate milk out of my Peanuts glass.
Was that? It almost sounded like you said penis. Out of my penis glass.
Never, ever. Never, ever.
Is that the one that you got? Like, was it McDonald's or was it?
They are, yeah. I have the whole set from McDonald's.
I think I had at least one or two of those back in the day.
Yeah. I helped my dad clean his garage out over COVID, and I found them, and I was like, oh, I'm taking those. Like, I'm definitely taking these.
I still had, my dad might still have my Batman Forever mugs. You know, I mean, with like the 3D etchings. I think he might still have it. If he does, I want
it. Yeah, you got to get that.
I know.
I gotta say, Dana could probably sell those for like a couple $1,000.
My dad would kill me. He'd be so mad. He already said, he was like,
but it's nice to know if you're in a pinch.
Right.
If you're in a bind, you're like, all right, I can get rid of these. I got all these. I don't know if you can see these Funkos behind me, but
I can see them.
I got like over 300 Funkos.
Oh my God.
Like, I spent way too much on Funkos. I got addicted. I had to stop. And some of them I bought like on a whim, and they went up in price like fast.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like I have the original set of the Goonies before, like the first series they made of them.
Oh my gosh!
And that I've paid I called it drunk. I drunk and primed. That's what I call it.
Yeah,
I was drunk priming, whatever you want to call it, drink and prime.
Yeah.
And we got them for like $50, all five, because they're like $10 each. And now like Sloth alone is like $275.
Oh my God.
The one I have, like, it was before they perfected the look. So, you know, they look a little older, you know what I'm talking about? The older looking Funkos.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's so cool.
And all the other ones were like between like $60 to $80 each. The other,
I
all
don't
the kids.
find the right things, clearly.
We never do.
No.
But yeah, so thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to talk to you three because I just listened to your new episode today, and did it come out yesterday?
Wednesdays,
yes, Wednesdays.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. And it was fun. And well, why don't you, before we start, why don't we go around and you introduce yourselves and what part you have in your show?
So I'm Dana, and Nydia and I each take turns writing stories every other week.
Okay.
And I do the editing, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm Nydia, and I'm the co-host, and like I said, me and Dana have a very different style. I am the true crime, gory murders, and Dana is mostly, she likes old-timey murders, mysteries, things of that nature. So we kind of balance each other out.
Right, because you did this past week's with the whole renovation storyline and the lady in the duplex or whatnot.
Yes,
and
tragic story.
And Dana, you did the Princess Caribou story last week,
the week
right?
before, yep.
And last but not least, we have Cynthia, or do you go by Cindy or Cynthia?
I go by Cindy. Yeah,
okay.
I go by Cindy for the podcast. But yeah, I do the food. So hence the name Crime Diner. So I do dinner, dessert, and then I all based on whatever theme they want to tell me.
And you guys were talking about in this past episode about, I guess it was the ice cream, was the Viennetta? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I used to love that. I can't find that anywhere down here anymore. So, every once in a while somebody will post about it. I'm like, oh, that stuff was so good back in the day. Like for me as a kid,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I loved it because it was like cake, but it was ice cream, and it was, and you could get it at the store.
Shockingly, like, just not, I don't know that I ever had it as a kid, but like shockingly disappointing. Like I just remember like thinking that it was going to be this like fancy pants, like hoity-toity ice cream, and just like it was just like, is this frozen whipped cream? Like what's happening here?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like those pies you can get, like I don't know what you would call Mrs. Smith, stuff like that. Like they get the icing, and not icing, you can get like the chocolate cream pie frozen. It's kind of like that almost,
yeah,
but a little
like
bit more
Marie
ice cream
Callender's.
consistency. Yeah. But I mean, that's the way they advertised it, though. They advertised it was like, oh, it's like you said, Grey Poupon,
Yes.
and you're like, and it's not that fancy. They just made it look like it was, and that's suggestion.
There was a whole lot of disappointment.
Yes.
Well,
it was solid marketing, certainly. It was
you won't
really
know until you try.
Yeah. I really like remember being a little kid and like being like, we have to have that though. Like, why can't we get this? I'm not spending $8 on ice cream or however much it was,
That was my mom in Breyers. Like, she was like, Breyers is the gourmet ice cream for us. We didn't have Haagen-Dazs down here for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it came. I kept hearing about it in movies. I was like, "Ooh, that sounds awesome." Everybody talks about how great Haagen-Dazs is. I was like, "It's okay. it's just okay.
No
it's
Breyers, certainly."
But yeah, and you know what, Cynthia, I want to say the one thing, like from one of the episodes I listened to, I keep wanting to try beef Wellington because I haven't had it yet. And you made it sound really good, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds awesome. That really sounds good. I want some beef Wellington."
I've tried it twice. I tried it, and only the second time I went with the more expensive stuff, and I think it was better. But that is not an easy thing to cook. Definitely.
Well, that's what I've heard.
If you have a Hell's Kitchen or a Gordon Ramsay around you, that would be my suggestion, because I've had it at we have a Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in one of the casinos here, and that's where I like had first beef Wellington, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is what it's supposed to really taste like.
Okay. Well, you don't learn until you mess it up a few times anyway, right? So
absolutely.
It's like making a grilled cheese sandwich and trying not to burn it every time, or like the first pancake thing, Which one of you is the teacher? Is it Nydia?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shockingly.
Yes. You have some of my favorite stories on your show.
My kids talks about the kids.
And for those of you who are listening, I'm sorry I didn't introduce the actual show. This is the cast of the Crime Diner podcast, formerly Wine, Dine, and Storytime. And what they do on every episode is they basically tell a true crime story, or in Dana's case, she tells like a historic crime story or something like that, right? And Cynthia over here, Cindy, excuse me, she makes a meal based on either the story or the location or something of that sort. Is that correct?
Whatever theme they order me to cook from.
Okay, cool. So, but I was going to ask you, Sydney, was like, what do you think was like probably one of the hardest meals to make, like episodes, like to figure out to make something?
Oh, figure out. That might be. There's a variety of them. Nydia's, again, all she told me was home improvement. I'm like, what the? I'm supposed to make with that.
I guess I got to put wood and nails in it. I don't know.
Yeah. Do I have to shape the dessert into a hammer? I just so I phoned that in. Of course, that's the episode that just came out that you listened to recently.
Well, you know what? The dude Roy, I think that's what his name was. He phoned in his whole home improvement thing anyway, so it kind of matched. So I
was on task and I didn't know it.
We like to give her as many challenges to jump through. Like when we did the guy that fell out of the airplane.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I need you to do airplane food, and she's like, "Are you for real right now?" I'm like, yes, definitely.
Did you get the peanut? What did you do? I forgot what you did for the dessert.
Oh yeah, she gave us peanuts because she's terrible.
I fully pranked them. My wife encouraged it, and she said you should just drop peanuts and pretzels in front of them and tell them that's the meal, and just walk away. And
did you give them little bitty cups where you would filled up halfway from?
She did, yeah, with the napkin on the bottom and everything.
Yeah, ice.
Yes.
I would have given them some Biscoff cookies too.
Oh, that was expensive. I couldn't go that. This is a Econo airline here.
We were flying Spirit.
I should have charged you.
You know what though?
That.
I just went on a flight, like I was saying a couple of weeks ago, for a family reunion, and they gave me a bag of pretzels. It was a huge bag of pretzels compared to what I've gotten in the past. It was a pretty
really.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is. I was really usually it's just it feels like 10 little pretzels are in there. This was filled up, and I was like, wow,
Oh, that's nice.
I was really surprised, but that was American Airlines who did that though.
Okay.
United Airlines, no, they didn't do that. They were like, no, you can't have anything. They gave us a drink and that was it. They didn't give me anything to snack on.
I flew on Air Emirates or something last year, and it was a long flight. It was 8 hours. We had breakfast and dinner, and it was a gourmet meal. I was like, pardon me? Excuse me with all this. There was dessert, there was side dishes, there were things in things you mix together. And I was like, it was a whole, I was very impressed. It wasn't a ton of flavor, but I thought it was pretty cool. That's
awesome. Yeah.
It was cool.
Went one time and I got upgraded to first class just randomly. Because somebody wanted to fly with somebody else and they just moved me and they're like, here, you can get in first class, which was nice. I love when they randomly do that. And I got free wine, and I guess I was drinking it really fast and I was talking louder, and they were like, they had to cut me off. You can't have any more, sir. And I'm like, why? I didn't even realize I was that drunk. I was, you're up in the air. I guess things hit you differently. And, I was like, oh man, that was kind of embarrassing, but it was nice to get the free wine in first class. And
definitely.
Yeah.
I would take all of it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Those little bottles of liquor would be awesome too, but I'm not that much of a drinker either. But when it comes to situations like that, I'm like, why not? It's free. Let's do this. Might as well. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think? I was going to ask you guys, so you started the True Crime podcast. How long ago did you start Wine Diners Storytime? When it was that? Excuse me. When Crime Diner was that?
October 2019, I think it came out. The first.
Oh, dang!
Episode.
So you've been doing this for a good 3 years now? That's nice. Well, you guys, you picked up a good following for it. I've seen that, and you have your Patreon going on, and you seems like you're doing pretty well there. I know you're like, we want to do this full time. Everybody needs to sign up. It's only $5.
We have no problems berating our listeners.
Come on, cheapskates. Yeah. We'll make a true crime out of you if you don't sign up. No,
that's right.
What made you guys decide, hey, we're gonna do a true crime podcast?
I almost exclusively listen to podcasts. I really don't listen to a ton of TV anymore, or like watch TV at all. And so I was really listening to all these podcasts, and I was at work one day and I texted Nydia and I'm like, have you like heard a podcast? Do you listen to podcasts? Like, what's your deal with podcasts? And she's like, yeah. Like, I listen to this one or whatever. And I'm like, let's have a podcast. Cause I knew that like anybody out of my friends that would like make me follow through with the thing, it would be her. And like, I mean, that weekend we had mics. Like, she like went and got mics like the very next week.
Well, dang, you jumped right on board.
Yeah, she really was like, okay, we're doing it right now. We'll do it. Like, wait, I was just kidding.
Yeah, I think Dana like has all these like ideas, and like I'm like a cheerleader for my friends. So I'm like, she says I want to do a podcast. I went ahead and got everything that we needed, and then she had to like, it was, her hands were tied at that point.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, well, I guess I can't put my foot in my mouth now. I got to do this, right? So.
No, it was done. It was over.
Yep, and we quit every week. And the only reason why we're still podcasting 3 years later is because neither one wants to be the one that ended the podcast. So it's just a stubborn game we're playing.
Yes.
How do you all know each other?
Cindy's my cousin.
Okay.
And Dana was friends with Cindy first, and we met through book club.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. What kind of book club was it? Just like, was it a theme book club, or was it just like a?
We're very themey. We're so themey. It was sort of the same thing as the podcast. We really just transferred book club to the podcast. Honestly, we would do the same thing. Like if whatever book we were reading, it would be like a themed. Whoever was hosting would pick a theme for the book, and then they would, everybody had to bring food, and we would read the book, and someone would make a drink, and it was really, I mean, we did really like parlay the book club into podcasting. Truly.
Okay.
We even dressed up, like we cosplayed.
Yes.
Oh, yes, really?
Yes.
Like, what kind of books were you reading?
The Hunger Games.
Yeah, the first book was Hunger Games, but the one that I think we did the best cosplay of was when we did Perks of Being a Wallflower, and we had a prom where everybody went to like Goodwill and got like prom dresses, and like it was
that is one of my favorite books of all time.
Oh yeah, it was so good. It's
such a good book, and the movie's good too, and it's written and directed by the author of the book, but it's just, something about the book, you get so much more from it,
That was so good.
Oh, I read that when I was a senior in high school in '99.
Okay.
And I think it's not long after it came out, actually. And
wow.
Yeah, so it was just one of those ones that, like, as a kid reading something like that, it kind of like opened up my mind to certain, like, oh my gosh, and the twist ending at the end, you're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
It was crazy. I love that book so much.
It was
I'm sorry, I jump right into things sometimes.
No.
What are you all reading right now? Anybody reading anything?
I am reading. I'm sorry. I am reading Too Pretty to hold on. It's called Too Pretty to Kill, I think. Too Pretty to Live. That's what I'm reading. Pretty to Live.
Oh.
Okay. What's that about? Is it I mean, it sounds like it's a crime thriller type thing.
It is. It's a crime thriller based in Tennessee, and it's
that's not my neck of the woods.
Oh, it's the next episode for your pod. You can't say too much then because it's our next episode.
Okay, I get you. We don't want to give too much away, but okay. Anybody else reading anything then?
I just finished a book by Dana Schwartz called Anatomy of a Love Story. And Dana Schwartz is a podcaster and journalist, and her podcast is called Noble Blood, which I love. And it's a book set in like Edinburgh in like the 1800s, and it's about like body snatchers and like a woman trying to become a doctor when women couldn't be doctors. It was really good.
When you said body snatchers, I'm thinking like alien infestation body snatchers.
No, like grave robbers. I meant grave robbers.
Yeah. Anatomy of a Love Story. People take over other people's bodies.
Yeah.
what?
It was good. She like, I thought it was really cute, and it was a real easy read. I thought it was a real good book.
Good. Cindy, you reading anything?
Not quite, unless you count Derek's podcast.
I mean, technically, it's kind of like an audiobook in a way. So,
I mean, he
with
fully
worked-in
reads
commentary.
all the words. I mean, there's just added commentary.
Right. For listeners, in case you're wondering, that's Derek of Ratchet Book Club, who I've had on before. So, just in case you want to know. Yeah, I've listened to a few of his episodes. I don't listen to every single one because not every book is for me. Not every book's for everybody. But that's the good thing about he chooses a variety of different things. So that's what I like about that. Are you all watching any fun TV shows lately? I know Dana said you don't watch much TV anymore, but anybody else?
Yeah. The only thing I'm watching is RuPaul's Drag Race. That's all I really watch. It's all I talk about. It's all I watch.
That's all we do.
I was listening to you, and you're on your episode. And who's the one who was going to the drag shows?
I've been going to the drag shows.
Okay, because I was listening. I was like, yeah, I used to go to drag shows, and in Memphis, it's very much less RuPaul's Drag Race and more like Kids in the Hall drag. Like, it's really not good, and I really hate to say that. I mean, that's at least I haven't been in a while. It might have improved since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but before it was like, it's probably more like Kids in the Hall with a little more makeup, like a little too much makeup sometimes, and and you're just like, oh, it's a train wreck almost. It's like, oh, it's cringe worthy, and I'm like, I'll just go drive 3 hours to Nashville, and I'd rather see that. They had the.
I would think that Nashville would have some really good drag. I bet.
Oh, they do. They do. I've seen some of them there when I've gone up there. It's just where I'm at. It's much to be desired. But the reason why I was bringing up TV shows because you do true crime, and I don't know if you've ever watched Only Murders in the Building.
Oh yes, I love it.
That's such a good show. I encourage all of you, if you like Dana, I know you don't watch TV shows, but the show is about a podcast.
Yeah, everyone keeps talking about that show. People are really loving that.
I think you would really like it. You should definitely check it out. I
probably would really like it. Yeah.
It's
and
such
the cool thing is watch. It is, and it's funny. It's kind of it's a comedy murder mystery thing,
Okay.
And they treat each episode as if it's an episode of their podcast because at the very beginning you get a title, you see like the little like play and the fast forward rewind button, and then it tells you like. It's really neat. This is episode 2, like that, season 2.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they name the episode. And it's funny because later on, they'll have like fans show up, like while they're doing stuff like, we've been listening to the show. Do you really think so-and-so did it? So then we talk about the stuff from the last episode that you just watched. And they're like,
very smart.
It's very kind of meta in a way. Like it's really self-aware and it's fun. And a bunch of twists and turns. And they have a lot of, celebrity guests and whatnot. So I highly recommend that. I wouldn't if you haven't seen it, I would not recommend listening to my episode about it until at least you've seen the first season.
Okay.
Because it'll give way too much away because there's some funny stuff. I try not to give too much away, but it's fun. I just recommend that. So
the cast is amazing too.
Oh, I know. I love it because the funny thing is so Steve Martin and Martin Short are in it. Steve Martin co-created it, and
oh my God.
And Selena Gomez came in, and apparently Selena Gomez's character was originally supposed to be an older woman to match, Steve Martin and Martin Short's ages. And for some reason, I guess she caught wind of it, and she really wanted to be a part of it. And the producers and everybody, we don't know Selena Gomez. She's a pop star. She was on Disney Channel. You know what I mean? Like that's they're like. So they went ahead and like, oh, fine. They broke down. They let her come in and read for it. And like, oh, she's awesome. So they kind of reworked the part a little bit to be a little bit younger. And what's funny is I think they kept the same name because her name is Mabel in it, which is, which was funny is because like Steve Martin and Martin Short's characters even make a comment saying that's like an old lady's name. And which is funny about that. So, but she's awesome in it. And they really do have a great chemistry. She's like the straight man, the one that's just very, not very, nothing really, moves her. She doesn't laugh a lot. She's just kind of very, stoic and blah, 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 and of course, Martin Short's always the eccentric goofball, And Steve Martin is like an ex-actor who he's very Steve Martin. I mean, it's just that the characters fit them perfectly, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but I highly, highly, highly recommend that show. You'll have a lot of fun with it. I promise you. And it's just like reading. It's just like listening to a podcast because you're watching it. You know.
Okay, maybe that's a good transition to TV then, I guess.
Yeah.
There you go. It's on Hulu, so you might have to get some Hulu if you don't have it. But
yeah.
It's all
Anyway.
Cindy's Hulu. It's fun.
What'd you say?
I have
said
Cindy's Hulu.
Oh, okay. Shh, don't tell anybody. No.
Sorry. Cut that.
I go over to Cindy's to watch Hulu.
That's right.
That's right.
That's what's going down here.
That's how it is.
So, I have some random questions and stuff I thought we could talk about. Sometimes I'll like prep for things and like I'll have ideas and I'll go, I'm going to put this in a spreadsheet. And so I'll have all these, you know, like, we'll have this topic and I'll just grab stuff from it and put it in here. So the one I grabbed this time was random or weird favorites. So I'm going to kind of quiz you guys and you guys tell me your random and weird favorites when I ask you about it. So like the first one I have is, what's your favorite planet? Besides Earth, obviously.
Not even Earth right now. Saturn has all the rings. We'll go with some rings.
The rings of Saturn.
I think there's only one right answer. And that's Uranus, right? It's gotta be Uranus.
Well, I mean, you know what's funny? That's I think that's my astrological planet. Uranus. Or what people, they remember back in the day, they tried to change it. Like, no, it's Uranus.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's Uranus.
Nobody's accepting that answer.
No, we're not saying that.
I'm kind of partial to Pluto because it's kind of the underdog because it's a planet. It's not a planet. It's a planet. It's not a planet, you know? So I'm rooting for it to be a planet and I want it. And it's the name of a Disney dog. So, you know.
That's right.
Mine is Jupiter. Jupiter, because men are from Jupiter and they're stupider, right?
Oh, come on.
Men are from Mars. Men are from Venus.
That's so funny.
My men are from Venus because we have penis. That's what I say. I know it's a little, yeah. Okay. I have another random one. What's your favorite green vegetable?
Oh,
mine is asparagus.
I like asparagus too. Oh, that's a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lean towards it. Yeah, it's got to be asparagus for the win.
Okay.
Maybe
I like
zucchini.
asparagus too. Oh, I like zucchini.
Ooh, yeah.
I guess
so much.
I was gonna say
but I eat
peas, 'cause
asparagus
that was
more
the
than
first
zucchini.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I like zucchini.
I'm kind of partial to green beans. Just, you know, they have green in the name.
I like green bean casserole.
Oh, hell yeah.
Depending on how it's made. So sometimes, because some people make it and you're like, what the hell? I also like broccoli because they look like little trees. So
Oh, broccoli.
Not
I
Broccoli.
like
me.
to put on a giant.
Broccoli's
No, I don't want that.
You know what? I'm an unpopular opinion here, but I love Brussels sprouts.
I like Brussels sprouts.
You know, I can't
gotta
get
be
into
done
them.
right.
And everybody's always like, well, they have to be made right. And then I'll go to somebody's house and they're like, I made the Brussels sprouts. And I'm like, and it's never any good. And they're like, but it has to be made right. But you made these. Why are you serving me something that you're telling me is not made right? Like, I don't understand.
I gotta say, I made Brussels sprouts.
What'd you say, Cindy?
Brussels sprouts with bacon and honey and goat cheese and raisins roasted.
See, that sounds appealing, but I just don't know. It's just something about it that just, I don't know. It just had this like rancid taste to me.
Yeah. They
I don't know if it's
like cooked to death too. Like
Okay.
it's not something you really can be like having all like middle of the cooked or meat, like a little bit raw. Like, no, I don't want that.
You know, maybe it's something kind of like we call it. What's that? They put it a lot in Mexican food. It's the green thing.
Cilantro.
cilantro, that tastes like soap to me. And some people, it tastes like soap, you know? And I can't have cilantro in any of my, like, anything. And other people are like, why? It tastes so great. I'm like, yeah, it tastes like soap to me. It just does.
Yeah.
It literally tastes like somebody shaved off some dial and put it on my taco, you know?
I feel so bad for you.
I know.
I wish it did not taste like soap for you.
I do too, because, you know, everybody's like, it's great. It's awesome. You know, I don't like guacamole either.
Well,
oh my God, I might have to change my vegetable to avocados. I think I really love avocados. I could just remember everything. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't even cross my mind. But
when you think of avocado, though, if it, like the full avocado, you think of like the brown cup, you know, you know what I mean, and the pit, you know. But I can deal with an avocado like in like sushi or something like that, chopped up, mixed in with something else. I'm like that with tomatoes too. I can't eat a straight tomato, but I can eat it with other things, you know, or ketchup. I can do ketchup, obviously, but I just can't eat I can eat fried green tomatoes, no problem. Love them. That might be another one of my favorite green vegetables. That's not really a vegetable. It's a fruit technically, but you know, everybody treats it like a vegetable.
Yeah.
So it's an honorary vegetable. Just like a banana, I found out was a berry.
Oh, simply no.
It is. Apparently it's a berry.
Wait, Dana, is your favorite green vegetable green peppers?
I like green peppers. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. And now I'm sort of thinking, is an avocado a fruit? Because like, doesn't it have to be like a nut? Like if it has to. All right. Well, I guess I can't say that then.
Even though you think of it as like a vegetable.
Right.
Peppers are too.
Maybe there's only one green vegetable and it's broccoli, and that means I don't like any green vegetables.
And asparagus.
Asparagus. Right. Back to the beginning, right?
The one that makes your pee smell.
Yes.
I love asparagus. Circle. It makes my pee smell. Just love that smell of my pee. Goes, ooh, I had asparagus today. I forgot I had that. I really have some random things here. Like one of them is your favorite numbered date of the month. I know. I told you it's a weird question.
I think probably for me is somewhere in the middle, like the 15th, because like all of my bills are due in the beginning of the month. So like the middle of the month is more playtime money for me. So maybe I'll say the 15th.
Okay.
I'd have to agree with Dana.
Yeah, I probably would. Middle to semi-later because... Yeah, I don't have to pay. I have bills. I split my bills up. Like I pay this much in this part of the month and this month. So like the second half of the month, I don't spend as much. So
yeah, me neither.
I have a little more free money there.
Right.
I'm just gonna go with a number that just feels good to me, and it just 26 just for randomness.
It's the day after Christmas. That's a good day, I guess.
You know what? I would have to say the 13th of every month, because I'm always like, is it going to be a Friday the 13th? Is it a full moon? As a teacher, that's really important to me.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing. My mom was a nurse, so that's like the hospitals would always go nuts during the full moon, especially. But you know it's going to be a Friday the 13th if your the first day is on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
If the first of the month is on a Sunday, right. Friday the 13th will be that month.
Well, you learn something new every day.
It's pretty logical.
Dustin here with all the knowledge. I mean, if you think about it, yeah. Like, well, yeah, that does make sense. Okay. Man, I don't know what I was smoking when I wrote this list, but I wrote your favorite Post-it product.
Post-it?
Yeah, like so, like it can be the color or like the normal size Post-it, the longer tabbed ones, or the little like stickums you can stick on like to mark a space in a book type. Or
don't they have those little Post-it things where you can pull it and it makes an accordion? Like if you pick the whole thing up, the Post-it makes an accordion.
The pop-ups.
Like you can pull one at a time and it just like
for like your desk. Yeah.
Yes, I don't have a desk, but yeah, that I would have that if I had a desk.
I like the little mini Post-its.
As a teacher, I have giant Post-its. They're like huge poster board Post-its. I love those. Those are fun.
Oh, like for just like doing projects and whatnot, or
I usually like write like the notes for the class for the day, you know, the lesson. I'll write it on there and then I'll
mhm.
stick it on another wall so that I free up some space on my board. And then like if a kid comes in late, they can copy it or whatever.
Or someone just a slow writer, and that way they don't have to get
Yeah.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What grade do you teach?
I teach 5th and 6th special ed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. All right. There's another one. Favorite fast food logo?
I have an answer.
Go for
What's
it.
that?
If you've ever seen the KFC man, the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy, the Colonel, if you like just see his head, but his tie looks like a little arms and legs, it looks like a
Yeah.
stick man body.
Like he has his hands like on his
His
waist
arms
or
and legs
something.
look- yeah, it looks like a stick man. Like that one.
That is funny.
Huh, I can't.
I like the original Jack in the Box.
Oh, we don't have that here.
Yeah.
We don't either. I mean,
Yeah.
we used to have it, but then it went away. I think we had like we had like 3 locations when I was in like 5th or 6th grade. And then I think they had a lot of food poisoning incidents. So they shut down. It was all owned by one company around here. And so they shut them all down. But I didn't have any until like I graduated high school, and I went to Hawaii as like my senior trip, and they had one there. And then when I went to Missouri for like a year, my freshman year of college, and they had it there. And it was cool because they had it was like a little golf ball head with like a little, like a Pierrot, a clown hat. You know what I mean? Like a little pointy top hat, and then dot eyes and a pointy nose, like a snowman. And they had those things you could put the little ball on your antenna for your car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they would give those away. I don't know, something about that. I like that. They don't have that anymore. So now it's just a generic Jack in the Box, just the words in a box. It's
Yeah, right.
I
what
gotta
about
say,
you, Cindy?
the Whataburger logo looks like a Wonder Woman sign, so I kind of like that.
Yeah. We just, you know, what's funny? They just built one down the street for me. We just now got Whataburger in our area, and it's going to open up sometime soon. They just built it, so I can't wait to try it.
My favorite
I like
was
Whataburger.
White Castle, the White Castle logo, because for some reason we're all pre-programmed.
Oh yeah, it's based
to
off the
love
water
White
tower in
Castle.
Chicago.
Yeah, to love White Castle.
Oh, really?
Even though it's the most garbage burger in the world.
Well, they're good for drunken nights, you know, and
You have to be drunk.
that's really what they're for.
Yeah. You gotta like a
Or you-
soggy bun to like a White Castle.
Or your
And
stomach's feeling
onions and
extra
farting.
strong that day, you know. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we don't have White Castle. We have Crystal. It's the same thing. It's just called Crystal. So, like, I think White Castle, they put mayonnaise on their burgers or something, and Crystal puts mustard on theirs. So,
Interesting.
but that's mainly the big difference. But yeah, the logo is based off the water tower. I think it's near the Sears Tower in Chicago. And I just happened to learn that when I went to Chicago once. And I was like, oh, okay. Because it kind of looks like a little castle. It's called the Water Tower. I don't know why it's called that. It just looks like a little castle in the middle
You're
of
like a
downtown
wealth
Chicago.
of information.
I have random things in my head that I just got it out. Yeah. You know, that's how I am. That's how I be. Okay. How about this one? Might be a little bit easier. What's your favorite location to vacation? Your favorite vacation locale?
Okay, I have guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure. I am one of those Disney adults. So my favorite place in the world is Disney World. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
You know what though? I will stick up for you because I've been there 5 times. And I went there like 3 times in high school. Well, actually 2 times in junior high because my friend's mom, she would take them and I went along for a couple of years. And then another time we went because my other friend's sister was competing in the national cheerleading competition, and that was at Disney World. So I went with him to that. And then I went another time when I was in college and another time after that. And I haven't been since like 2003, I think. It's been a while. But I will agree with you because there's something about Disney. It's super clean, super, super clean.
Mhm.
And there's no judgments there. So you literally, something about it, it really does make you feel like a little kid again. Something about it, it's just,
Yeah.
you get that kind of, I mean, obviously you're an adult, but you get somewhat of that wonder back,
Yep.
that kind of like, oh, wow, that's so cool. Or, the way they do things, the special effects or the cool costumes or just the rides in general. You just get excited about everything. You're like, oh, I want to see this. I want to see this. It's like a kid in a candy store type of feeling. So I totally
Absolutely.
get that, Nydia. I totally agree.
So
Mhm.
fun.
I gotta go. I gotta go with returning constantly. Best vacation. I always go back to Puerto Rico because there's so much to do. Even if I've been there 1,000 times, went there as a kid almost every summer, but always Puerto Rico as my go to. Best
Would you count
vacation
that
I've
as the
ever
Caribbean?
had was Italy.
Oh, you're lucky. I haven't been out of the country. Like
I
the
used
most I've been is like off the continent. That was Hawaii. That was the biggest, but I haven't been out of the country. But would Puerto Rico, would you count that as part of the Caribbean?
It
yes.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a friend who lives in Panama. I know that's not that's Central America, but
That's way over
and
there.
way over there. He's got a freaking, like, I didn't realize this. My friend Domingo, if you're listening, Domingo, hey, I don't know why I'm waving because you can't see me. But he has a restaurant and he like took like hotel management, hospitality management and stuff. And he worked, ironically enough, he worked at Disney World for a while. And so now he's got like a really successful restaurant. I think I was watching Food Network and one of the hosts, they happened to go to his restaurant and I was like, oh my God, Domingo's on Food Network. And he's got like over, I know it's at least 10,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh wow.
Like I think he even has maybe more than that. He might have like 30. I don't know, but he's a pretty popular guy. And I'm like, wow, So I know that's random off the subject, but Dana, what's your favorite location?
Anywhere that I can snorkel, anywhere that like I've been trying to go different places that have really blue water so that I can like snorkel. Which I fell in love with in Costa Rica. So I guess, if I had to pick an actual location, it would be Costa Rica. But I think, as I do some more traveling as the years come on, I think it's probably going to be some sort of Great Barrier Reef or something like that where I can like
Oh, wow.
die touching a fish I shouldn't be touching.
Get ready for that nearly 24-hour plane ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
We lost Nydia.
Oh, did we lose Nydia?
Yeah, well, she was frozen for a minute. I had to take a picture of her because her mouth was looking all wonky. Because that's how we roll.
It's okay. She'll be back, I'm sure. I'm sure she'll be back. It's no big deal. My dad, by the way, happens to love Costa Rica. Like he's gone down there several times in the past couple years. So
it's amazing.
Nydia, are you back? Did we get you back? You don't look happy about it.
Smile, girl, so we can see you.
She's just looking around. Can you hear us?
And she probably can't yet. She's probably getting her stuff together.
That is the best.
I'm so disappointed.
Take a picture.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, she really does. She's like, I don't like this. Why does my stuff not work?
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, we can't help it. It happens sometimes. Oh, well. Well, I mean, okay. Now that I know that Nydia brought this up and I kind of want to skip this. I'm going to skip the next one until she can contribute because it has something to do with what we were talking about a minute ago. Here's another random one. What's your favorite fabric to wear?
It probably depends on time of year and weather. So like wintertime, I want something soft and fluffy and warm, while in the summertime, like a very light cottony, very linen type of airy kind of fabric.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say in winter I'd like fleece, I guess. It's kind of basic. It's not too, heavy. It's not too thick, and it doesn't shed and whatnot. She's contemplating something. I'm not sure what Nydia's thinking.
So it's making me laugh so hard.
She is
like, what am I doing here?
struggling right now.
I don't know what happened to her sound. Can you hear us, sweetheart? This is going to be the most interesting episode. Let me just tell you that right now. Oh, she's gone again. We lost her again.
We've recorded with her video in the past for our Patreon, and her area always seems to like freeze up.
Yeah.
While we're recording.
It's like she's in a strobe light, like this
yes.
moving,
all the time. All the time.
That's what I always think about when I see somebody in a strobe light. Like, I don't know.
She just sent a text message. She's like, I'm disconnected. Oh, here she goes. She is not giving up. She is not
Don't
giving
let her.
up today.
You fight your way through this, Nydia. You can do it, girl. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, how about your favorite Spice Girl while we're waiting for her? Who's your favorite Spice Girl?
I'm not going with Posh. I'm going to probably go with, sadly, maybe Scary?
Definitely.
Mel B?
Yeah, Mel B.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't think I would have picked her back in the day.
No, it was Posh back in the day.
But now she seems to have, like, calmed down a little bit. She's not as, quote, scary. Nydia, can you hear us?
Your favorite Spice Girl?
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah,
we all said Scary Spice. Is that yours too?
Back in the day, like when Spice Girls first came out, I was like probably in like 7th grade or something like that, 6th, 7th grade, and I remember being like in love with Posh Spice. Like I remember just being like now looking back, I was like, oh, I was gay. I didn't realize that's what that was. I was just like, when the 2 Become One like video came out and she was just like singing, and I was just like, oh my God, I love her so. I was just like,
she was the put together one, the lipstick one,
Yes, yeah, I was in love with her. But now Mel B, my God, she's so cool, and she like comes on everything, and she's a guest on everything, and she's just like so fun and hip. I love her.
And you know what? Besides Mel B and Posh, I think the only other one was Mel C that is around that's doing stuff. Well, no, Emma does stuff too. She hosts like reality shows and whatnot. Baby Spice.
The Baby Spice, yeah.
Yeah. And
don't pay attention.
I think I didn't like her the most, I think, because of the whole pigtails thing. I'm like, you're a grown woman, you're not a baby. Like quit with this stuff. Come on now. I don't think so. Well, Nydia, since you're back, I had one that I skipped over because I was like, I'm going to wait for her to come back. So what would you say is your favorite amusement park ride? So I know it's going to be Disney World, but.
Yeah. I really love the ride in Disney where they take you through the farm. It's in Epcot where it's like, gosh, I wish I could remember what it's called, but it's in Epcot and it's like so old, and they take you through like pod farming or whatever, and it's
is that like the one that's in the? I feel like it's. I know what you're talking about, and it's the pod farming, hydro farming, all that stuff. I remember it's like a little boat ride, right?
Yes, I love that stupid ride.
It's kind of chill. I mean, it's just kind of whatever.
It's like such a nice little way to like take a break. But I also love the Toy Story rides. I love the Toy Story rides. Those are really fun. The Midway Arcade one, that's so fun.
Well, see, I haven't been on that one because I haven't been there since then. So, I miss Captain Neo.
That used to be fun too. But I'm not a thrill ride person. I'm not. So
we all went to Universal a bunch of years ago, and I made Nydia ride the Mummy, and I was like, "You're gonna love it. It's so fun. The Mummy is such a good ride, and it is a good ride. It's a great ride. It doesn't go upside down. I think it's a good middle of the road ride for someone who doesn't like thrill rides." She screamed the whole ride. She was so mad.
Is it a roller coaster, or is it one of those ones where you're like in a thing and there's a screen? It looks like you're on a roller coaster.
No, it's a coaster, but it's not like an upside down coaster. Like it's it makes you go all around, and like it goes backwards. Like when you think the ride's done, it like goes all the way backwards or whatever. And like,
oh no,
it's like it's a solid roller coaster. It is a good ride, and she was so mad. It was so funny.
But it's an indoor roller coaster where it's like, it incorporates like a movie and all that other. It's like one of those fancy things. If I would have known that it was a roller coaster, I would have never agreed to it.
Okay, so I'm assuming you never went on the Aerosmith ride.
No,
roller coaster, where you get into a quote limo to make it to the concert, and you have like their music blaring in your ears the whole time.
Solid ride too. That's a great ride.
It is a fun ride.
I don't know if you've been to Universal, but like any of the Harry Potter rides are.
I haven't been to any of the. That's why I haven't been down to Orlando in forever, or even.
Truly, like I love Disney as much as the next person, probably not as much as Nydia does. But as far as like coasters and like rides and experiences, I think Universal blows Disney out of the park all day long. It's just such a better experience. As far as rides are concerned,
maybe if you're going just for thrill rides or something like that, I can see that.
Harry Potter, none of the Harry Potter rides are thrill rides. They're all these immersive experiences. So they're all these like they're like these 3D, like you riding on the broomstick, or you're like getting chased by the dragons, and like all of this, and it's just so like encapsulating the whole world. Yeah, like it like builds this whole world where it's just like it's just nothing like it that I've ever seen. As far as rides are concerned, it doesn't give you that same feeling like where Disney, when the fireworks are going off and the like princess music is playing and all of that. That's a different experience. But like,
well, that's all. Not everything in Universal is like you can go through like what. Oh man, I miss Nickelodeon Studios. That was always fun to go through.
Right.
But that's almost equivalent to going to like the Disney Animation Studio tour. Like it's almost, you're seeing behind the scenes. But absolutely. I will say that as far as Disney, I will go with like Tower of Terror, which I think now is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
But they changed it to Guardians of the Galaxy now, I think. But
yes.
And they're supposed to be coming out with a new Tower of Terror movie soon.
Really?
Because they made that made for TV one with Steve Guttenberg and Kirsten Dunst. Like back in the, I remember, I know too much, guys. And
that's a solid ride too. That's a great ride.
They took the Twilight Zone aspect out of that movie, which I was like, no, you got to keep the Twilight Zone stuff in there, because it was the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. And the little girls, it's raining, it's pouring. It's really creepy. And then they all get electrocuted in front of you, and then all of a sudden your elevator just drops, and it was so great. And you see like the whole opening to the Twilight Zone with the eyeball and the window smashing, and it was so cool. And Rod Serling, picture if you will, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, loved it. That's what I love.
We took my kid on that ride when he was 4. I didn't realize that it was a free fall. Like we didn't know. I'd never been to Disney, or I'd never been on that ride. So my son was 4 and my little sister was 5. And we like went, and we were like, oh, it's a spooky, like I thought it was going to be like Disney's like haunted castle, like do like around haunted castle. And so we get on it, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And the kids were like freaked out just being in the Tower of Terror, like just being in the room with the Twilight Zone stuff. And they were like crying, and I was like, you guys are being so silly. Like this is dumb. And then we get up there, and like, we're just like, I'm like, look, it's so fun. And then the doors open up at the top, and I was like, oh shit. Just little kids like lifted off the seat. They were like floating in the ride.
that happened to me and my friend. Because we had gone on it before, and we're like, you know what? When we sit down this time, let's raise our legs really high, and that way when the bar comes down, it'll snap and it'll hold in place, and then we won't be right up on top of us. We almost flew out of the damn seat. We had to hold on to the bar to make sure we didn't go splat up on the ceiling because we're like, oh shit, don't ever do that again. Like, so don't do it. It's scary as shit because if you come, you're gonna hit your damn head. It's gonna hurt. So don't do it.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I gotta go with the Harry Potter rides. I love the Harry Potter rides. The Mummy ride was awesome. You just reminded me of Tower of Terror. That will always be Tower of Terror to me. And
Yeah, absolutely.
and just this quick memory was me, Dana, and my wife got onto one of those free fall rides in Universal,
Doom.
and
It was Dr. Doom.
it was Dr. Doom. And what we didn't know about that is that it's backwards. It's not a free fall. It's you zoom up. And my wife blood curdling scream. Okay. She damaged her vocal cords for 2 or 3 days. She could not speak. It was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm really a terrible friend, actually. I'm like listening to this. I'm like, oh, actually, I'm kind of a terrible friend.
You're like Millhouse. Yeah, or not Millhouse. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Nelson. Not Mill. Yeah, Nelson. That's who you are, the group. You're the Nelson of the group.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well, all right. So what? Oh my God, this is really weird. What is your favorite type of chair? And when I say chair, I mean like a basic upright chair, like a dining room chair or whatever, or an office chair or a recliner or a chaise lounge or anything like that, like papasan, whatever you want to say it. Like, what's your favorite type of chair?
I have a chair that I've been waiting to hang up in my house. It's a hammock chair. It's a 1-person hammock. It's literally sitting in my living room because I'm having some home renovations at the moment. But as soon as this kitchen situation is done, I need them to hang this hammock chair. But you literally can like get inside of it and like cocoon yourself around it and just like rock. And it's my favorite thing in the whole entire world.
I think I've seen those. Is it kind of
really cool?
Is it almost like one of those ones that looks almost like an egg, but it's not that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it looks like macrame. Like it looks like it's like white cord. So like once you're in it, yeah, you're like sort of like an egg in it once you're in it.
That's what I thought.
Like fabric-y and like it literally is like a hammock, you know?
Yeah. I love a good trashy recliner, but I would never buy one and I will never admit it to anybody outside of this.
You mean like a lazy boy?
Like a lazy boy that has been lived in, that is fabric, that kind of has your smell and your butt like form in it. Like a really old lazy chair that has been used to death.
Like something that was left to you by your grandparents?
Yes, I love that. Like I love that. But I would never, ever decorate with it. And I won't admit it. I won't admit it to anyone.
No, that's more like a playroom or a man cave type chair. Like, yes. But they're always so comfortable. Like, oh my God, they're always like, oh, someone has lived in this chair, you know? Mm-hmm. What about you, Cindy?
That's my go-to. Comfy type of recliner. It doesn't even have to recline as long as it's got that big comfiness, just hugs you when you sit into it.
Oh, yeah. It kind of reminds me of it was my step grandfather. He always had Brill cream in his hair. So when he was always laying back in his chair, so when he died, I would always smell the Brill cream on the back of the chair, on the top part of the chair. And it was a big old kind of greasy stain at the top. But it was kind of, you know what I mean? It was one of those things you're like, ew, this is gross, but it smells like him. You know, that kind of thing. Like, yeah. It's kind of sad, but I don't know what happened to that chair. I used to have a pillow that he used, and it smelled like him for the longest time, but I don't know what happened to that either. Oh, well. Okay, a couple more questions for you. Who is your favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon character?
Yogi.
Hey, boo-boo.
Yogi, hey, boo-boo, you know? gotta be him for me anyway.
Can we go get some picnic baskets?
I think I might like Huckleberry Hound. I always liked Huckleberry Hound.
Oh, Huckleberry Hound. I think he sounds like that a little bit, doesn't he? Something like that.
A little bit, yeah.
No, that's not. Is that Huckleberry Hound? Yeah, it is. I think that's the one.
Go ahead, Dana.
No, go ahead. I'm like my train of thought.
I'm trying to think of what characters were Hanna-Barbera.
They run the gamut. Like,
yeah, a lot.
Got, like
all of them.
Like Scooby Doo's Hanna-Barbera.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. I think the Flintstones were my favorite.
Yeah,
I love the Flintstones.
Yeah, I loved it. You know what? I think one of my favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoons was when the Flintstones, the Jetsons meet the Flintstones.
Oh my god!
My God,
that was like probably my first experience of a crossover, and I was like, "What is this?"
Now you're saying all these other cartoons that I love. I mean, when I think of Hanna-Barbera, automatically I always think of yeah.
And you know what though? Even the Archie cartoons were Hanna-Barbera. So like Josie and the Pussycats and stuff.
Oh wow.
Those are part of that too.
There was this show
Josie and the Pussycats. That was awesome.
There was a show that used to come on before school. You must be right around if you were graduated in 99, you must be right around the same age as me. Mm-hmm. There was this show that was on before school that like, it was like a teen boy scientist or something. And he like lived in his basement and he had this like robot like thing that had a TV for a stomach. And he would play like little clips of cartoons on his stomach. And they were always this racing of all these Hanna-Barbera cartoons. They were like start at the top of a mountain and all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons would like ride in a car down the mountain. It
was like Hanna-Barbera meets Mario Kart in a way. Like
sort of, yeah, that's exactly what it was like. And like I don't know what the show was. I've like tried to talk to people about it before and they never know what the hell it is.
It's something All-Stars. Something has All-Stars in the title.
I watched it every morning before school and like I don't even know where
you had like Yogi, you had like Snagglepuss, you had like you know exit stage left, you know, like
I loved it.
Heavens to Murgatroyd, you know.
Could it be Laugh Olympics?
It might have.
I don't know.
Maybe it might have been. I don't think that was it. I think it's something that
like had this. He would like pull a lever and the robot would like start, and there was like this whole. He was not a cartoon. He was it was like a person.
Right.
Like
it was almost like he was doing a clip show, but it wasn't a clip show. I know what you're talking. Yeah.
I also like the cartoons that the guy was like, was Bullwinkle, like Rocky and Bullwinkle, because I think they were in the race too. That like Russian villain.
Oh, you're talking about Boris and Natasha?
Yeah, Boris and Natasha. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they were part of. They might have been part of him. I don't think they were though, but they could have been. Or like there were similar characters to them at least. Yeah. Because they weren't looking for the moose and squirrel. I don't know why I'm just coming out with all these like things I never do impressions of.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Ooh, Rocky. I don't even practice these sometimes. I really don't. They just come out. I can pat myself on back for that.
Yeah, no, you're nailing it.
I hope so. I hope so. Hire me, people. Hire me. I do a good, like, I guess I say this good. I don't know if it's good. I kind of do a Kermit the Frog impression if you want to hear it.
I'm dying to hear it.
Okay. All right. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here.
It's so good. Oh, God.
And then there was this one I did. I was talking with my friend Glyza, and I forgot to record it. We were recording for something, and I think I turned off the recording, and then I did this impression. I was like, "Why didn't I put this in there?" Because it was around Christmas time. We were talking about Home Sweet Home Alone, which was meh. But we were talking about, hey, you know, the Muppets should do another Christmas movie or do other movies, you know. And I was like, they should do Christmas Vacation, where Kermit is Clark Griswold, right? And and then you know, everybody else is Muppets, and then Beverly D'Angelo is still his wife. And but you know, but it should be Miss Piggy. But no, Miss Piggy should be one of the neighbors. And
Mm.
and then I just went like, and then this is what I said. I said, "And why is the carpet all wet, Todd?" I don't know, Miss Piggy. I don't know. I don't know
Oh
what.
my god, that's
awesome.
so good.
Dustin, have you ever watched Emmett Otter's Christmas?
Yeah. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas? You don't even have to
I
ask
love
that.
that.
Oh my god, I bought the
freaking
soundtrack
love it.
last year.
Yes.
One of my favorite ones is the bathing suit that Grandma Otter wore.
Yeah.
She was like, "We made this, we made clothing for the poor, we made this all from the one bathing suit at your Grandma Otter wore," because she was huge. And like people passing down the river would see it hanging on the line. They would mistake it for a circus tent, and stuff like that. I love that. It was such great songs, great story. It's based on a children's book, but the children's book itself is based on the Gift of the Magi, because
really?
it's all about you know what the Gift of the Magi is, right? Where the couple buys something for the other, but they kind of give away or sell the one thing that the other one bought them something for, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in Emmett Otter, the exact same type of concept. So like he wants to buy his mom a piano. They're trying to win a contest. So in order to do that, he has to play wash tub bass in his jug band, and he has to put a hole in the wash tub to make the bass. And that's where she gets her money. Right. And so she's like, all right, well, I'm going to do that. And so what she ends up doing is she wants to get him a guitar because he really wants a guitar. And in order to do that, she has to buy fabric for a new dress so she can perform. And she sells his tools, and that's how he makes money. And so they both kind of screw each other over as far as like making money. They're both really poor now. And then they don't even win the damn contest.
Damn.
They're like, "Well, I was going to do that for you. And I know you won't be able to wash any clothes now to make money, Mom, but but it all ends out good in the end. You should watch it. There's a good ending. I won't give you the final ending, but it's good.
It's
show.
so great.
So, and I know I just like gave away that whole thing, but
We got very excited about it. So
I did. You don't understand when people bring up stuff like that from my childhood. That's like when people bring up the Firuza Balk worst witch. Loved it. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, it's from 1986 or 87. It's Firuza Balk back in the Return to Oz days when she was around that age, and she plays Mildred Hubble in The Worst Witch. There's the Worst Witch series that's on Netflix now, but she just everything goes wrong for her, and it's based on a book series, which ironically is right here, which is this book series, and there's several books in this series. The movie's based on the first book, and the movie also has Charlotte Rae, who played in the house mother in Facts of Life. I can't remember her name right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't think of her name. I can see her face.
Yeah.
I know. She talks like this,
Yeah.
and the Grand Wizard, the Grand High Wizard, is Tim Curry.
Was her name
And
Mrs.
this was-
Drummond?
No, I don't think so. It's close. I know what you're thinking of. That's not her name. It's some. I can't remember her name right now. Somebody look it up. IMDb that shit. There you go. But yeah, Tim Curry has a song. It's called "Anything Can Happen on Halloween." I don't know if you might have heard that. It's popular around Halloween time. But it was a Halloween special originally on HBO, and it was like an hour and a half long. So I highly recommend watching that if you can find it. It's great. You might have to rent it, but it's really good. I think you might be able to watch it on YouTube for free, actually. Anyway,
That's cool.
Edna Garrett.
Miss Garrett.
Wow, Miss Garrett. Yeah.
Yes, Mrs. Garrett. Because she was also on, was it Silver Spoons before that, the character? And then they moved her over to Facts of Life. Random shit that I found out, guys. I mean, I'm really big into TV and just random trivia, so that's why it just spews out of me. I apologize. Anyway, all right, final question. And this one's kind of easy. Describe your favorite coffee mug?
Mine is the one that's the biggest in the house. Um, so it's actually a Harry Potter mug that it's a sorting hat mug. So as soon as you put the hot drink in, it tells you what house you stored it into.
Oh, that's so
Does
cool.
it do it differently every time?
No.
Oh.
So you just somebody buys you the mug. Hopefully, it's the house that you actually have. Um,
Well,
but
it's still cool.
Yeah, it's just fun.
That's cool.
What's yours, Dana?
I don't really drink coffee, so we don't have a lot of mugs here. But I think probably my most like sentimental one is like one with my kid's face on it that like got put in the mall or whatever, and it's like this grainy picture of him in the when he was like 4 or 5 years old. That's probably the only one I can think of.
That's so sweet.
I had this Hello Kitty mug that I bought on our trip to Universal Studios, but it broke. But that mug, oddly enough, when I was having a bad day and if I had a drink in that mug, it would make me feel better. It was so weird. Gotta get another one now.
I have one. There's two I have, but mainly the one I like, it's vampire teeth. It's a big black mug. And there's these, I got it like on sale after Halloween at the local grocery store at Kroger. And it was just vampire teeth with like blood stained on the fangs. And there's a drip coming down the side. And it's all kind of 3D feeling. And so when I drink out of it, I think there's a picture of me drinking out of it on I'll have to share it with you, my personal Instagram. And it looks like it kind of looks like you have vampire teeth in a way.
Oh, cool.
And the other one I have is kind of like your sorting hat one. So when it gets hot or you put the hot stuff, it's space. But when you put the hot water or coffee into it, Doctor Who's phone booth, the police box shows up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. My friend has one where when you put the mug in, when you put it in, it disappears from one side of the mug and reappears on the other side of the mug.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Oh my God.
That's fancy.
I am shocked.
I love a magic trick with my coffee cup. I don't have any magic coffee cups.
Well, get some hot chocolate. You can still drink hot chocolate out of a mug.
Yeah, I like hot chocolate. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, guys, I appreciate so much you guys coming on today and just talking with me and just BSing about whatever our favorites are. I just thought it'd be fun to talk about some random crap.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like you said before, Crime Diner comes out every Wednesday, and Dana and Nydia both swap out who does a story for that episode, and Cindy makes the cool, I guess, I don't know, relatable food that goes along with it. Usually based on the location, I'm sure. But yeah, and so you guys should definitely check it out. Please listen to them. They are awesome. As you can hear, they're very fun, and they really do have great banter. That's one of the things I love about your show. I know a lot of you are like, if you want to skip through this, which you're boring if you do, like you can go. We have a time marked. You say that every time, but I don't skip through it. I do listen to all my podcasts on a little bit faster speed because I want to be able to listen to all of it in one sitting, because I usually do it on the way to work and stuff. But it's really fun to listen to, and it's one of my more well-liked true crime podcasts that I would listen to. So
that's so sweet.
And yet it is. It's fun. It's fun to listen to. And I like how you guys were like, we didn't like research it all. We read the book about this. We saw this special on this. I did some extra research to make sure this was correct, which I like. You're just kind of reiterating stories, which is still cool because I still haven't heard about them. And you do it in a fun way where you're like, oh, really? Oh, well, tell me more. Oh my God. It's really relatable. It's like, a regular friend getting together and doing that kind of thing. So I really like it a lot.
That's so good.
What are your social medias so people can find you there?
So all our socials are actually Crime Diner Pod. So we kept it all simple. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Crime Diner Pod.
And Cindy, you pretty much, you run the social medias, right? And I know Dana is on TikTok for sure. Who else shows up on those? Is it you? Do you show up on these, Nydia?
Yeah, I do. I
don't see all of them, so that's why. I think I remember seeing you on some, but I know I've seen Dana on a lot of them. So
yeah, she makes her. We each take turns making our TikToks about what the story is for the week. We try to do that, but Cindy is the social media god. Like before we got Cindy on board, we were just like really floundering. She wasn't even part of the podcast yet, and she was like, would you post on social media? What are you doing? And I'm like, girl, I can't do it.
So I forced them to let me in and took over all their socials. In on this. I was like, y'all are flailing on your socials. You're killing me. You got a good show. So they
I appreciate you talking with me on that, Cindy. I mean, I know you're like, oh God, there's this Dustin guy. Okay, we'll do your show. Okay, stop.
I know
like, trust me, Dustin. It's not you. I got feral cats to wrangle.
She literally yelled at us on Friday and was like, pick a day, Monday or Thursday, and you're saying it right now. And I'm like, Thursday, fine.
It's cool. I'm glad you guys could make it. And I know you guys usually record on Fridays, I think, right? So yeah. I'm glad I'm on your off day. So
yeah, I'm actually about to go downstairs and make the dessert for tomorrow's episode.
Oh
boy. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about that one. So I can't wait. So everybody make sure you tune into Crime Diner. Once again, ladies, thank you for showing up and just talking with me for a while.
Thanks for having us. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Everybody, if you want to find me on socials, you can find me at Dustin_Holden on Twitter or on Instagram at Dustin Can Read. Or you can reach me on my Gmail, which is DustinCanReadPod@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hi there, I'm Dustin. Do you have a comfort show that you always go back to? Or perhaps there's a TV series you haven't seen in a while and wonder if it's still any good? Well, welcome to the Rewatch Recap, a show where friends and I will queue up an older TV show we've seen and then give a breakdown with commentary of how we feel watching it now, and making fun of it if it doesn't hold up, of course. Dropping episodes weekly, it's easy to rewatch along with us. We'll be focusing on shows from most any era, so suggestions are always welcome. First up is the first season of MTV's Scream, the series, with guest host Aureline from the Spooky and Strange podcast. And after that, we'll go back to the 1990s for the cancel-too-soon teen series, My So-Called Life, with guest host Kay from F My Work Life. It's sure to be fun, so be sure to check in with us every Monday on the Rewatch Recap.